Today on Oz, Past Life Regression, the idea of tapping into past lives.
How do you know it's not just some trick of the mind?
It may sound like science fiction.
Why is it so emotional for you?
You never think that this kind of thing really can happen.
Can a new experiment give you a glimpse of former lives?
When I was there, I really felt everything.
See if your past life holds the key to healing you in this life.
Surreal.
Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
Past lives. So the idea of tapping into past lives as a form of therapy is starting to capture the attention of many doctors and scientists. And it's begging the question, is there real science behind spirit? So I brought in a neuropsychiatrist, and later on, he's going to reveal the groundbreaking experiment. The results of this experiment, the first of its kind, might help uncover what's really going on in our brain during a past life regression. Could your past life hold the key to healing you in this life? Take a look. It's an amazing thing to witness people under hypnosis recalling events.
I have kind of funny looking shoes on.
Names and places.
I get this sense I'm somewhere in Europe.
Memories of a distant past. So distant, they don't even know they lived through them. Past life regression dates back to the 6th century BC. But 25 years ago, Ivy League trained psychiatrist Dr. Brian Weiss introduced regression therapy to the mainstream. The medical community was skeptical at first, but now more and more doctors and therapists are using it to help find out the root causes of phobias, unhealthy habits, even chronic health conditions. Today, how past life regression could hold the key to curing what ails you. I've actually regressed before when I appeared on the Oprah show a couple years ago. In fact, Dr. Brian Weiss, who you saw in that little piece, actually did my regression. Now, I'm interested from hearing that a therapist who actually took his lead, Dr. Linda Backman, is a psychologist who uses it in her practice. So the idea of having a past life and regression therapy sort of looks into that. It's not very mainstream. If you don't mind, explain to folks how you use it in your practice.
So it's not mainstream. It's certainly not mainstream for a psychologist. And what I find is that we are a soul. We come into body lifetime to lifetime. We come into body to essentially learn, to grow, to evolve. And our past lives impact our current life in many different ways.
So how do you know it's not just some trick of the mind? Which is a reasonable question that should be asked. It's not some hidden memory that's finally coming to the surface, rather than some distant ancestor's memory.
That's a very common question. People ask me that all the time, and here's what basically how I explain it. We find that when the client goes into the regression, the story is incredibly detailed. The emotions are detailed, the clothing, the scene is detailed, and it just moves, almost literally as if they're re-experiencing the past life. And so there's a connection always between past and present.
Okay, so there have been scientists working in the field of reincarnation. That's collecting personal experiences over many years, trying to make sense of it. It's one of those mysteries you just want to get your arms around. Have there been commonalities that these scientists have found?
I think the commonalities are fascinating in that they explain that we are a soul and we come into body to learn. So the commonalities really are, how does the past life demonstrate and explain something that's happening in our life today?
So one of my viewers, Latrice, wanted to try past life regression to overcome some phobias that she had, but she ended up being surprised by what she really found. Take a look at her story. To find out what happens inside the brain during past life regression, we injected Latrice with a radioactive substance that allows doctors to analyze neurological activity using nuclear imaging.
So begin with your eyes closed and begin by simply following your breath. You've just arrived in an important scene, on an important day, in an important past life of yours. Allow the number of the year to just pop into your mind.
1907.
Do you have any sense where you live?
It was in the South.
Now imagine that a mirror appears in front of your face. Describe what you notice.
I'm a girl, maybe 11 or 12 years old. There's an older man in the room, like a grandfather. But I feel like I've done something that I wasn't supposed to do.
What happens next?
Whatever I've done, he's forgiven me for, and he's consoling me.
Move ahead to the next important scene. About how old are you now?
15. The sun is shining. It's not too bright. I love the butterflies. It's a private place for just me to enjoy me.
Again, move ahead to the next important scene.
And I'm sitting with my mother in the kitchen. Someone else comes in. He's not very nice. He disturbs all of the wonderful feelings that I have. Sitting with my mother. I leave from my room. I cry myself to sleep.
What are you crying about?
I just want to be happy.
Let time move forward. Where you go next?
I'm at a wedding.
Whose wedding?
It's my wedding. It's beautiful. It's outside. I see my butterflies. I feel free to not worry about so many other things.
Move to the very last day of the life you've been examining. Where are you?
In a beautiful hospital bed. I'm so old. And as I look around, everybody's there. I'm able to tell them that I love them. And they're able to tell me that they love me.
How do you feel about this particular life?
Oh, it was so beautiful. It had its bad and its good, but it ended on a really good note.
Draw with Latrice. Are you okay?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I feel everything again that I was just experiencing there. It was surreal.
Why is it so emotional for you?
First of all, because you never think that this kind of thing really can happen. And it was never in my psyche that it could really happen. And when I was there, I really felt everything. So when I was talking about the mean man, those feelings kind of surged in me again. And I don't know, it's so much more than what we see right here.
Let me spend some time on that. You went in for phobias, but you came out with a much deeper experience.
Correct. I went in for my phobia of bugs. I hate bugs. And what we came out of it with was completely different. We didn't find bugs, but we found purpose in a life that I lived with ebbs and flows, with rich and poor, with good and bad. But in the end, I found a place where I could center, where I could find my own private place and calm my mind and find solitude. And I took that from that whole experience and placed it in my life now.
And I was caught off guard by the commentary about a strange man that made you feel uncomfortable. There was a dark moment.
Yes, it was a very dark moment. One of the things that with the regression, when I was at that stage, I was 15 or 16, I was in the kitchen and I knew that I had to do something for my mother, and I had made dinner and we were sitting at the table eating and everything was wonderful and happy. And all of a sudden, this man came in and he was very forceful and angry with my mother. I didn't know this. I didn't know him as my father. Maybe he was a friend of hers or a boyfriend or something. But in that forcefulness, I felt fear and hurt for her. And then after that, I was in my bed crying myself to sleep. And my mother came to me and she told me, it's not you. There's nothing that you've done wrong. It's not your fault. This has nothing to do with you. This has to do with me. And everything's going to be fine. And I took from that for this life, I take on a lot of things for other people. I take on a lot of problems and issues, and I take it personally. And I've seen from that I need to release other people's issues, and I need to say, this is not about me. This has nothing to do with me, so that I can keep my center.
That happens in so many settings. It does. There are folks out there right now watching who blame themselves for things. It could be spousal abuse. It could be failure in life that really wasn't up to you.
Yes.
Wasn't your baggage to cart around.
Yes.
You will become one of the few people who really knows when you try to access a reality that's beyond what we can envision.
Yes.
Are you nervous about that?
You know what? It is. I was nervous about it only because of the fact that I am one of the few, and I want to make sure that the experience can help other people. That's probably only the place where my nerves lie.
All right, when we come back, a neuropsychiatrist is going to reveal the results of a groundbreaking experiment, showing us for the very first time what's really going on during a past life regression.
Next, is it possible to tap into our past lives? Is there real science behind regression therapy? New studies show our brains are connected to our past more than we ever thought before. Find out if your past life holds the key to healing you in this life. Next. Right to Die advocate Brittany Menard took her life and her death into her own hands. Now, for the first time, her mom speaks out.
Why my daughter? Why our family?
All New Oz. That's coming up on Monday.
A groundbreaking study is putting past life regression in a brand new light. Neuropsychiatrist Dr. Daniel Amen is here, and for the first time ever, he's about to take us inside the brain of someone being regressed. So before I get into the actual studies here, which are fascinating to me, you see there may be actual benefits, real life benefits, even if we can't prove that you went back to the 1500s, even if going back in time is not possible, the therapy itself might be useful.
Well, it can be very useful, and it may be accessing really important memories, and as we'll see, maybe even generational memories.
Right. And this is an important concept, which I'll stop for a second because what we're going to go through is an important groundbreaking study. It was done on mice. It's going to show us how our brains are connected to our past more than we ever thought before. And I'm not talking about our lives either. I'm talking about ancestral lives. So walk us through what these folks did in this experiment.
Well, so fascinating study. They took mice and made them afraid.
So here they are, smelling
of the scent of cherry blossoms. So every time that they smelled the cherry blossoms, they shocked them, and it's called conditioning. So whenever they would smell the cherry blossoms, even without a shock, they'd be afraid. But what was amazing was their children were afraid of the scent of cherry blossoms, even though they'd never been shocked. So the memory was transmitted, and then even their grandchildren were afraid of the scent of cherry blossoms, so that fears, phobia, maybe even anger and hatred can be transmitted genetically, or this thing we call epigenetically.
So let me call Latrice over here, if you don't mind. It's pretty interesting to see this, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
So now that we're beginning to connect what might be happening in our brains to what might have happened to our ancestors, the question then becomes what happens during actual regression, when this therapy is tried on people. And the results here are to me, intriguing, and I think I want to have you here to share them. So you went into the scanner, we put a needle in your arm, Dr. Amen's group did this fantastically well, and then they put you in a scanner.
Correct.
And it was probably a little daunting to have that done.
Yes.
And we did it without the regression happening. Then we did it after the regression. Dr. Amen, take it away. You're a world expert in this.
So what we do at Amen Clinics is a study called SPECT, and SPECT looks at blood flow and activity. It looks at how your brain works. So it's different than an MRI that just looks at structure. We're looking at function. And in Latrice's baseline scan, so she's fully awake, just in a normal state. So here, blue is average activity, red and white are the most active parts of the brain. So this is baseline, but watch what happens when you're in the hypnotic trance.
Ooh.
And what we see from baseline to the regression, her whole brain flames. And you saw in the video, she's like this, but not inside her skull. Her brain's very busy. And what's the most interesting thing to me as a neuroscientist, this is an area in your temporal lobe that's involved with memory, but this specific temporal lobe is involved in spiritual experience. So when scientists stimulate that part, people have actually been known to feel the presence of God in the room, or a sensed presence. So emotional activation, temporal lobe activation, clearly something's going on, that you're beginning to access very emotional, interesting memories.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, right.
Yeah. Like when when you think about something like this, you think, oh, humble jumbo, nothing's really happening. Oh, you're going to create something. It's so real. And that is amazing to see the difference right now. I mean, to think that this is me relaxing.
As a neuroscientist, someone who's an expert in this area, what do you think about this whole past life regression idea when you see these kinds of scans?
Well, I mean, obviously we can't tell whether someone's actually gone to a past life, but clearly something physiological is happening in the brains.
What you're seeing in that picture is real hurt. For the first time.
Yes.
I love the fact that we can begin to pull those emotions into a real place medically, because we get closer and closer to understanding what, for example, real hurt really is. Is this going to change you?
It's already changed me. It's changed me in a sense that I need to find, from that past life, I found a place of center and a place of where I can release, that hurt or that pain. And it's just about finding that place here as well.
Beautifully stated. Thank you for being here.
Thanks
for doing this with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Dr. Amy, wonderful data. We'll be right back. Great job.
Next, Wayne Brady is used to making us laugh, but behind the famous smile was a private struggle.
I woke up and realized that I needed to get on this. We men are very good at, no, I'm fine. Look, I look good. I can lift stuff.
How he hopes his story will inspire others to take control of their health.
He's one of those entertainers we can always count on to make us laugh. But behind his famous smile, Wayne was keeping a painful health secret for years. Now, he's hoping his story will help other men take better care of their health. Wayne Brady, coming out and join us. Having you here.
It's good to be here.
I just look at you and I laugh. It's just fun.
Thanks.
Before I get to your health, once again, Wayne's hosting the BET Honors. Congratulations.
The BET Honors.
The Honors.
Yeah, because the BET Awards and the BET Honors, that's where we honor guys like Usher and Kanye West and Felicia Rashad. It's an amazing show, big performances, and it's great because it's not just us honoring our own, but honoring our own because of what they've accomplished in the world, and it's really cool.
But the real superstar is going to be your daughter. His date, Wayne's date, is his daughter. Having had daughters come to events with me, that's going to be the real blessing for you. Here's the picture of the two of you there. She's very cute.
Thank you.
A lot of fun with her?
She is, she keeps me on my toes. She is version Wayne 3.0. So much better, faster, cooler, smarter than I could have ever dreamt of being at her age. If I were 12, talking to her at 12, she would never talk to me.
No, she wouldn't?
She would never talk to me.
Thinks you're a nerd?
Oh, wait, she thinks I'm a nerd now, much less if I was 12? Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about health. It's a big deal what Wayne's trying to do. You've got a big responsibility you're taking under to change a lot of men's health. What's the goal here? What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, what I hope to accomplish is I'm hoping it's not too hard, because it's something that I want to accomplish in myself. And I'm not speaking from a place of, look what I've done. No, it's more so, wow, I woke up and realized that I needed to get on this because I'm on the other side of 40 now, looking at the rest of my life and wanting to be here and to walk my little girl down the aisle. I'd like, well, not for a long time.
Oh, wow. She's 12.
Let's not get ahead. But I want to see her go to school. I want to see her accomplish her life. So I want to be here for that. And so the only way to be here for that is to not avoid the health conversation. We men are very good at, no, I'm fine. Look, I look good. I can lift stuff. Well, yeah, but you don't know what's going on inside. Well, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to, no, I don't want any of that. I don't want that. I don't want to, oh, no, I don't like shots. I don't like needles. Don't poke me on this. We have to do it. Yeah. We have to do it, if not for ourselves, for the rest of our family. And that's what I'm trying to get behind, is preventative. In my own family, I have heart disease and diabetes. I've got 2 big strikes against me already. And if I stick my head in an ostrich hole just going, well, I feel fine, so my heart must be fine. Well, no, because my dad died of a massive coronary when he was 45.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
And my and diabetes runs in my my family, my grandmother and my aunt. So I know that I've got these things to contend with. So I've got to get on my game. Men, we have to get on our game.
Kudos to you. Now, lots of men suffer from things they won't talk about. Depression's an example. You've had your bout as well. Is that what catalyzed you to take this brave move?
Absolutely, because not just, well, I was going to say in the African American community, we're taught, well, at least in my own experience, that you don't speak about certain things. And even when I was a kid, I would hear certain things like, we don't go see doctors. White folks are crazy. we aren't crazy. Well, you know what? Your emotions and keeping things bottled up and chemical imbalances, no race. It's just within you. And because we as men don't want to talk about those things, we don't talk about depression, we don't talk about how we feel, we keep everything pent up because a man is not supposed to show any emotion, then that causes the heart attack. That causes the stress, which leads to a variety of different problems. We keep those things bottled up and then we wonder why we drop like flies. So I knew at a certain point when I was dealing with it myself, I said, I think I've got a choice. I can either keep the stopper in like I have for years, or I can finally go, this is what's happening with me, and let that off and begin to change that. Rather than end up like my father.
It's such a profound insight. And I thank you for doing it, because if we don't make it acceptable, then of course the people just sweep it to the side. All right, so the biggest fan that I know of Wayne Brady is my wife, Lisa. I'm not one of her fans, by the way. In my house, the prosecution never rests. But she really does like you a lot.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm always sitting there trying to think, how come I can't be more like Wayne Brady? What is it that makes you so darn creative? What is it that's going on in that mind of yours?
I wish I had an answer, but it's like asking a football player, why you throw so far? It's just something. I would like to say that a bit of it is nature and nurture. I think I'm naturally drawn to the creative process. I think nurture, because my grandmother, she made sure that if I did anything, I read, because I didn't go outside. She didn't let me play outside.
Why
Thanks,
not?
Mom. Because our neighborhood was a little dicey at times. So she was incredibly overprotective. So rather than risking me, she would just say, stay in your room. But Mom, stay in your room. But I just wanted the sunlight. Nope, the sun will kill you. She used to make me think that everything will kill you. The sun will kill you. That guy down the street, yeah, he'll kill you. But what? So
he runs a deli, that's right.
Yeah, he'll kill you. So I stayed in the house. I read a lot. So I'd have to say thank you, Mom. Because of you, I never played on a basketball team in school. But because of you, I'm on TV and not in jail, so I win.
That's right.
So
good for you. Now, moms also know this. They know that staying healthy is not just about going to see a doctor. A lot of us think that's the case, right? We think that detecting disease is the same as preventing disease. And what you're really focusing on is getting us to actually prevent the bad things. So you got a little checklist that I want to go through with everybody. These are things you're doing in your own life, but I want to make sure we're all trying this. The first tip that Wayne offers us is we have to socialize, not isolate. How do you do that in your own life? And please explain it to everybody.
The isolation, I didn't realize that I would isolate, because I'm not a naturally gregarious person, which is very funny.
You're not?
No, because people confuse the job with the person. I'm an entertainer. It doesn't mean that I like to wind myself up and dance around at parties. There are those personality types. I'm not that guy, because that's not the dude that was raised in his bedroom reading books. When I'm on stage, hey, but when I'm off stage, you will not find me. Where's Wayne? Gone.
He's in his room.
He's in his room. No, really. Which has a good side, because I'm a very private person, but I realize that we are social creatures, as you know. You cannot exist like that. Your mind turns on itself, and then it affects your biochemistry again. So you have to get out. You have to socialize. I'm not saying you have to be at the club. That's not socialization. That's just drinking, and that's an excuse. That's Cinco de Mayo. That's right. But you do need to get out. Rub shoulders. Speak to your fellow man. Learn something. Take something away, and even that small conversation can adjust your clock a little bit for that day.
You got to feel like you're a raindrop falling into the ocean of humanity. You've got to realize that you're part of
Yes,
it
I
all.
love that.
Did I get that right?
Raindrop falling, done. Stolen.
So stolen here.
Up top.
I'm going to read about it. All right. Second tip, exercise. And Wayne says you got to make it fun. Since I know that he wasn't on his high school basketball team, I actually got a little basketball net here. But I wasn't going to go dancing with you, but I was nervous about that because the guy can dance his way out of anything. So explain as we take shots here, and hopefully I make mine and you don't. How have you changed up your regimen? By the way, the basket's that way.
Huh? Oh, is basically not wanting to get stuck in the gym because that's an excuse that you wake up, we got to go lift, and you don't want to lift. You find dozens of reasons not to go. It doesn't have to be that. Some sort of physical activity, walk, run, go to the beach if you can. So I found in my life that I didn't want to go to the gym, so I would try to get together with a couple guys and play.
Oh, come on! Come on. Oh, jeez. I'm busy making television shows here, but then again, Wayne is too.
So I'd get together and play.
My chance. Oh,
there we go. And
one more.
Okay.
All the marbles here.
All right. Okay, ready?
Yeah. Let's see what he's got there. Let's see what he's got. Oh, come on. He clinches victory. Thank goodness
That's
I do heart
okay. You're
surgery.
Dr. Oz, not Dr. J. It's all right. It's all right.
When you're hosting multiple shows, make a deal. Whose line is it? You're hosting BET honors. You're doing all kinds of crazy things. How do you get the energy to keep going?
Because I love what I do. And I think that part of that adjustment is for a time, I think I lost that spark of really loving getting up in the morning and doing what I do. So I had to fall back in love with my job. I had to fall back in love with getting up. It sounds so Pollyanna, but I had to fall back in love with life.
Yeah.
And the socialization is part of that, because if you love your fellow man, then it makes the world a little better instead of just people suck,
Well, I love you, Wayne Brady.
Thank you, Brady.
My friend Wayne. Listen, be sure to watch Wayne when he hosts the BET Honors. It's this coming Monday night at BET. You'll be dancing and you'll be laughing. We'll be right back.
Next, you stick to your health plan all day, but when the sun sets, your willpower goes out the window. Don't sabotage your good intentions with emotional eating at night. Defend against mindless cravings with simple strategies. The plan for all night eaters to keep from snacking late. Next. Right to Die advocate Brittany Menard took her life and her death into her own hands. Now, for the first time, her mom speaks out.
Why my daughter? Why our family?
All new Oz. That's coming up on Monday.
You know those days when you eat healthy and do everything right, you stick to your weight loss plan, and then the sun sets. You get cozy on the couch, and all of a sudden, something takes control of you. Night eating. Does that sound familiar? A lot of night eaters out there. Today, we have a plan for all of you night eaters to keep you from that bag of chips or those sugary snacks you pick on after dinner, which is exactly what Tina needs.
I've been a night eater for as long as I can remember. I try to eat really healthy throughout the day. I start out with a really healthy shake. I put kale in it, and blueberries, sometimes strawberries, almond milk. When I start to feel hungry, I grab a healthy snack. I have Greek yogurt, I have a handful of almonds, an apple. I even follow Dr. Oz's advice, feeding my body nutrient-dense foods. So at lunch I have a salad, so my body stays sustained throughout the day. When dinner rolls around, I'm not even that hungry. But when nighttime rolls around, all bets are off. That's when my stress and boredom kick in, and I feel the need to eat to soothe myself. Between 8:30 at night and 12 a.m., whether I'm watching TV on the living room couch or whether I'm in the bedroom, I'm snacking on the bad foods. I snack on chocolate-covered marshmallows. I love ice cream. Ice cream is very soothing. I like salty foods also. I'll eat salt and vinegar chips. Sometimes I make French fries. If I can't go to sleep, I'll usually go for another snack, usually chocolate. And it's totally impacting my weight. I had lost weight, and I've gained almost all of it back from my night eating. I always promise myself that the next day is gonna be better, but I just can't control myself once the witching hour strikes. How can I stop?
So Tina's here. You obviously have willpower. I mean, you're able to do all those wonderful things during the daytime. What happens at night that forces you just to go off the train wrecks?
Well, at night, I'm alone with myself. I have a teenager. During the day, I'm always running. So I'm not thinking about anything. And at night, I'm thinking about my stress, and it takes over.
So I want to take it to the truth tube and go over some of the medical stuff. Is that fair?
Okay.
Come on back here.
Okay.
And let's figure out what's really happening and put some numbers around these things. So we ask you to keep a food journal, which is a very valuable thing to do because we can actually sort of keep track of what's really happening. And overall, if I count all the things during the day, you're doing really well. You really are, making a lot of smart moves, high fiber, protein-centered meals, all the things that should work, low fat, low sodium. I mean, I want to high five you on that. That's really good.
I learned it from you.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Watching your show.
So this is all wonderful stuff. But then, of course, there's the part that concerns me. And for me, it's mostly when you consume your calories. So we took that food diary and we actually charted it out. And 69% of your food is consumed after 8 p.m.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
You had any idea at all?
No. No.
Doesn't seem like too much, right?
No.
It's just a little chip, mindless, right? A little chip here, a little scoop there. And when you have a lot of nighttime calories like that, and there have been studies done on this, it leads to weight gain. You experience that? Heartburn?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I eat it from after you lay down. Yeah.
And then your sleep, the quality of that usually drops off as well. So I brought someone who has got a lot of personal experience. Come walk with me a little bit.
Okay.
For every night eater out there, the first step is to uncover the reason why you eat at night. So I brought someone in who faced a similar struggle. Have a seat.
Oh.
I want you to meet Dr. James Rosser.
Hi.
How you doing, Tina?
Dr. Rosser had to put himself, forget about his suave good looks now. He had to put himself in the position of a patient for a while. If you don't mind, share your personal struggle with weight.
Well, my struggle started because, number one, I had a genetic predisposition. Then I chose a stress-rich career choice, which is being a surgeon, just like Dr. Oz. Then the other thing is that 14 years ago, I said, that's enough. I'm going to war against this problem with my weight. And since 14 years ago, I've gone from 460 to 303. That's my current weight. Thank you. And like I said, Dr. Oz, before, I'm a big unit, but I'm a healthy big unit. And I'm never going to be the cute one like Dr. Oz, but that's all right. People still appreciate that, too. And so that was my struggle. That's the foundation of my struggle, and it's a daily war.
So Dr. Ross did some homework for us. He came up with a plan every night eater can use. The absolute moment when you feel those cravings happen. He calls it the emergency countermeasures. And he used them just last week, I understand.
Oh, yeah, I was really challenged last week. And the big thing here is to understand that you're not alone.
Oh, I know.
And most of this is stress-induced nighttime eating. The foundation is that you're not going to go through all the emotions because you know that's going to come, but we want to give you a physical plan that actually helps you because when your whole diet and your healthy profile is on the line, we want you to win that battle and you have to be prepared to go to war.
So again, you've asked yourself the first question, is this whole process of night eating starting above my neck or below my neck?
Absolutely.
It has elements from both, and we're going to give you crutches on this. And Dr. Ross has determined that, in fact, emotional hunger is a big driver of this. So what do you do about it when it's above your neck?
Well, first of all, the tips of how you know when it's above the neck, right? So one tip is, if this comes on quickly, the hunger, without gnawing or hunger pains, and it's for a specific item like Rocky Road ice cream or chips, let me tell you, that is emotional, stressful hunger. So that's the big thing. Number one, find out which one you have. So then, once you find out that that's the problem, Tina, what I want you to do is take 5 minutes to think about, is it above the neck or below the neck? And really come to grips with, why am I eating? Just a self-examination. That's the first step in your journey of having a healthy profile.
We got a lot more from Dr. Ross when we come back. Stay with us.
Next, are you snacking late at night? You stick to healthy foods during the day, then nighttime eating takes over. Learn tricks to occupy your mind the moment those cravings strike. The plan for everyone to stop after dinner snacking and slay that nighttime hunger beast. Next.
Whoever said a doctor's visit isn't fun has obviously never been to the Dr. Oz show. Is that right? Make your appointment today. Go to droz.com/tickets and sign up for free tickets. Dr. James Rosser is back with more of his plan to stop night eating. Now, these are his personal emergency countermeasures that he uses to slay what he calls the nighttime hunger beast. So beautifully described. Now, I want you to think about this. If you're asking yourself if your hunger is coming from above the neck and it doesn't work for you, because that's always part of this, then the next thing you got to do is develop these countermeasures. And the first step is to occupy your mind and your hands. Now, why is that so important?
Well, I tell you, occupying your mind and your hands, it defocuses on the stressful issues that you have and also gives you an outlet. And so therefore, you have to custom design these things. And I'm going to start first with the feminine side. See, I'm comfortable with my feminine side. So I'm going to start with knitting. You know, Tina, you may want to start knitting. Okay, and remember, you had take 5, okay, to figure out what was going on. Now you wait 5 minutes. Now you're going to come to occupying your mind and your hands.
Right.
Now, you may also want to add some music. Like I was listening to Marvin Gaye. I tell you, that's what I listen to, Marvin Gaye.
Right.
So knitting, now your hands with crossword puzzles, Sudoku. And you know what, I don't personally do this, but you want to maybe want to do your nails.
No, I might want to, because they need to look nice.
So which one would go better with you?
Probably do my nails.
Exactly.
I'm not really getting my manicures lately, so and I could use.
Hey,
that
that
might
works.
occupy me.
Plus, you got to keep them dry,
And
all that
I
stuff.
can't reach for the food if I have wet nail polish on.
That's true. You cannot mess your nails up doing that. I noticed that you have to keep them like this.
So I'm hearing that we want to keep your hands occupied.
Absolutely.
And all these will do that. Okay, next thing is going to occupy your hands is actually also going to occupy your teeth. He wants you to brush your teeth.
Right, and let me tell you, now after this, you wait 5 minutes and set it with a timer on your phone, 5 minutes. It's important to pause.
5 minutes.
But if that didn't work, and frequently it may not, this is what I want you to do. It's a little trick. I want you to brush your teeth and with mouthwash, take a sip, just a little bit. Now, that's it, good. Now, girl, you were greedy on that one, giving that back.
Jeez.
Now, the next thing I want you to do.
a shot of alcohol.
Exactly.
No, you got to spit it out. Don't drink that.
Exactly. Don't not swallow
I
that.
thought you want me to swallow it.
But now,
I didn't swallow it.
most people feel that when they brush their teeth, that's kind of the end of the day. That's you finished eating.
Right.
Also, it's a deterrent as far as taste. Take a little whiff of this cheese
I
cracker.
thought you wanted
Just
me to
take
eat
one, and I want you to eat it.
I can eat it? Okay.
Yeah, eat it and tell me what you
Take
think
2.
about it.
I'll take 2.
No.
Now tell me.
Now daytime eating is
Exactly.
moved into a worse scenario.
So tell me, that doesn't taste too good with me. Exactly.
Not at all.
See, Dr. Oz, you got to have a deterrent. Basically, you have to come up with these extraordinary countermeasures to stop you from losing your healthy profile. Now, if that doesn't work, remember, give it 5 minutes to work before going to the big guns. Because you have to ban the beast. You have to bring out the big guns and extraordinary countermeasures. That's why I have it in a camo box. All right? I'm really getting ready to get down and dirty with it. So let me give you the countermeasures. First up, a banana. Why? It's alkaline. It helps to prevent nighttime heartburn. And the other little exercise we do, Dr. Oz, cut it all up. And it makes your hands, it brings your hands in.
I can eat that then?
Yeah, you can eat that.
That I can eat at night.
Oh, yeah, you can eat at night. So I want you to think about ban the beast.
Sweet.
Okay? But I'm getting to it. That's not all. Let's start here with the
How
banana.
about chocolate-covered bananas?
Okay, we're going to get to that, too.
We're going in the whole wrong direction.
Now, next one. This is for you, girl. This is for you, because I know you like your Rocky Road ice cream. So I need to give you something cold and sweet, but healthy.
Okay.
And along our alkaline diet to prevent heartburn. And here it is, applesauce. And the applesauce is cold. It gives you that feedback of substance in your mouth, and that could help you. But remember, between this and this is 5 minutes.
Cinnamon applesauce?
I don't know. No, this isn't cinnamon. All right? But if you want cinnamon, girl, you can have it your way. All right? Okay. Now, the next thing, you like salt.
Yes.
All right, but I got to keep your hands
Like French
occupied.
fries.
I want you to go ahead and have nuts. And we call these in Mississippi, Dr. Oz, goober. Now, you wouldn't know anything about that. Goobers, right? So you have it in the husk. You shell it. You can put a little salt in it to get your salt back. And this is healthy and an alkaline diet also. But remember, 5 minutes between each
you're
one.
opening the shells. It keeps your hands busy.
Right,
You're in a
it keeps
frenzy.
you going. Exactly, that's right.
Yeah, actually, I think one of the craziest things we do is buy shelled nuts.
I don't.
Peanuts and pistachios. No,
They're
this-
more fun to eat, though. too.
Oh, you were saying it's more fun?
Yeah, more fun
Oh,
to
good,
eat
thank
with the
goodness.
shell on it. For some reason, if it's the shell, you want it more.
Now, I've saved this table for last.
Yes.
There is a possibility that despite our best efforts, judging by the kinds of comments you're offering us today,
Exactly.
that you may still want to night eat it, and you won't be alone. So the last step is to pick your poison.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison, and you have to know your poison. You know that you love Rocky Road ice cream.
Yes, I
So
do.
know what a serving is, know how many calories in a serving.
I can have that much. in
Yeah,
me?
this is how much you got to have.
But I can have each of these, or just one?
No, it's one.
Okay, let's
Pick
make
your
it
poison.
simple. Let's make it
One,
simple.
exactly.
You're picking one
That's yours.
poison.
Now, let me share something personal with me. Now, last week, I was on emergency call in between seeing, listening to patients and operating. And I'm going to tell you it was hard for me last week, Dr. Oz, and you know how that can be. So I went through everything, but it came down to my favorite poison, chocolate-covered peanuts. Now, this is my serving, and this is all I do. So you can do one of Rocky Road, or you take your chips. But the point is,
Don't go back.
you got to plan on failing. Yeah. See, and don't feel bad about it. We're not perfect. And if you do it, pick your poison, and the last thing, one and done. One serving of Rocky Road, and you're through. One serving of the chips, and you're through.
Do I put a lock on the freezer?
Go ahead.
Well, try not to
Do
buy
I
them
put a
both.
lock on the freezer?
She wants this ice cream. We're going to give it to
I
Dr.
do.
Oz.
I've thoroughly enjoyed you and your story. Thank you very much, Dr. Oz.
Absolutely.
Wonderful advice, as always. You
you're
can find the full plan and your nighttime eating at DrOz.com. We'll be right back. Take that away from her. Put that down. Get away from the ice cream. Away from the ice cream.
Right to Die advocate Brittany Menard took her life and her death into her own hands. Now, for the first time, her mom speaks out.
Why my daughter? Why our family?
All new Oz. That's coming up on Monday.
Today, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Doctors, they're just like us. There I am with baby cat doing what everyone else is usually doing, hanging out. If you check out my Instagram feed, you'll see that I really am just like you. For example, I do have my fashion disasters. Look at this gold lame jacket that I wore on New Year's Eve. Now, in defense, it was a 70s theme, but still, I probably could have done a little better. And I had been known to indulge in a good steak now and then. This is me with my son-in-law grilling at home. Bandanas are for effect, by the way. I don't normally wear a bandana at home. And sometimes I'm not such a good sport when I play, for example, football. Here I am at the DirecTV Celebrity Beach Bowl, the All-Star game. Notice the women on my side helping me. And there I am. Oh, I'm going back playing defense. I played defense in college. Oh, that's right. Then what happens? Oh, now watch the sportsmanship here. Oh, in his face. Yeah, taking the ball away from. That was A.J. Calloway, I think. But anyway, he tore his meniscus on that play, but that's how the game goes. If you want to see more pictures of me out of my scrubs and with my family, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Oz. Finally, let me close with a warning. There's some dubious people online that prey on folks like you who are trying to do the right things for your health. Sometimes they even make it seem like I'm endorsing the product that they're selling to you, but I don't. To see a full list of our trusted sponsorship partners, you can go to DrOz.com, and I'll see you next time.